Hi there, this is Solitude from Solitude Films, and welcome to another episode of 6 Film Runs, a series where I pick a director and show you 6 wonderful films in a row, which is obviously open for debate. Today's subject is Akira Kurosawa, a wonderful Japanese master. My favourite Japanese director, even though a certain Mr. Kobayashi has certainly closed the gap recently. Now Kurosawa had some wonderful early films, but 6 in a row, not really. He had some breathtaking later films, but 6 in a row, not for me. So I went to the middle of his career. So I'm going to go with 6 films that end with the end of a wonderful collaboration and perhaps one of the greatest actor-director relationships of all time. So to start the 6 film run, I'm going to go with the greatest Star Wars film of all time, Hidden Fortress from 1958. Coincidentally, this is an all Criterion special, but that's just coincidence. This is a wonderful knockabout adventure yarn, one of Kurosawa's funniest films, because I think a sense of humour and comedy doesn't really get mentioned enough with Kurosawa films, but this one is an absolute blast. Unusual for Kurosawa in the sense he's focusing on 2 bickering thieves, 2 lower class members of society, as they get embroiled and involved in a story about a strong-willed princess, a stoic general, and a journey across borders against an evil empire. But Hidden Fortress is just so enjoyable, wonderful set pieces, and again breathtaking widescreen cinematography. So that's 1958's Hidden Fortress. And then we go to 1960 and The Bad Sleepwell. Kurosawa obviously did Throne of Blood, which is a version of Macbeth. Bad Sleepwell is perhaps loosely a version of Hamlet, set in the contemporary business world of post-war Japan. Plenty of political points about capitalism and commercialism. Toshiro Mifune stars as somebody trying to find out what happened to his father. Again, bizarrely a film that isn't available on Blu-ray, certainly in the Region A or Region B world. This again is one of the better contemporary films that Kurosawa did. Again, shot composition and the placement of people in a frame always tell a story in Kurosawa's films, and The Bad Sleepwell is no different. Then from 1960 we go to 1961's Yojimbo, very much like Seven Samurai, a template film that has been remade several times, even though this one was based on Dashiell Hammett's Red Harvest. The film itself has been remade countless times, not least by a director who will appear in this series a bit later. Seminal performance by Toshiro Mifune. Takashi Nakadai appears as well in a fairly wonderful performance, but different. And this is one of those rare films where the protagonist, the hero or anti-hero, gets involved because he's bored. He's got nothing better to do with his time. This isn't about making money or impressing a lady. This is just out of boredom. He gets into this corrupt town and decides to destroy both sides. Absolutely wonderful, great score, and a wonderful black sense of humour throughout the film as well. That's 1961, and then we go to 1962 and a sequel that doesn't have much of a drop off from the original. This plays more lightly, more like a comedy, but it's got a stunning ending. Mifune is absolutely fantastic, reprising his role, and again, shot composition. Kurosawa's amongst the best at framing, and just an absolute blast. That's Sanjuro, and then the year after, I mean, this is pretty much a film a year, and a great film a year. High and Low, along with Akira, possibly his best contemporary film. This is all the more amazing. Shot essentially in two halves, and the first half is basically a bunch of people in a room. But Kurosawa, again, with shot composition, the way people are framed within the frame tells you all you need to know about the relationship between characters. And he makes about an hour of people sitting about and standing up in a room absolutely riveting. And then the second half, it kind of opens up. One of the great kidnapping films, and one of Kurosawa's very best. So that's High and Low in 1963, and then it actually took him 2 years before the release of the next one, and it's Red Beard, the final chapter in the Mifune Kurosawa career. This is just a 3-hour period piece about a doctor, and again, it's absolutely riveting, even though it's essentially just a series of anecdotes added together. There is a burst of Mifune violence, followed up with the classic line, "I may have gone too far." Because Mifune never went too far, of course not. This is just another stunning film that doesn't seem to have a Region A or Region B Blu-ray for some reason. Hopefully that will be amended in the near future. But this is another marvellous film. And again, for me, this run of 6 is pretty damned impressive. I'm probably a little bit biased. So thanks so much for watching. Please let me know if you think Kurosawa had a 6-film run of wonderfulness, and please leave a note of your 6-film run if you believe he did, and what those 6 films would be. I look forward to reading your comments, and hopefully you'll look forward to the next episode of 6-film runs. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.